Hello again, I'm here with another video. First, a disclaimer. This is for educational purposes only. It is not meant to diagnose or talk about anybody specific. If you are struggling and need some support, please get in touch with a mental health care professional. This is also not to replace any sort of legal advice. I am not a legal expert. So again, if you have any areas around that, whether it's legal or family law or anything that you need legal expertise on, please contact a lawyer or a legal expert. Now that's out of the way, I wanted to just bring up something that I've come across quite a bit, and that's the idea of, are we all narcissists? Spoiler alert, we're not all narcissists. Can people have some narcissistic tendencies? Absolutely. Now, when we talk about full-blown narcissism, now there is something in the DSM that is known as narcissistic personality disorder. And that is basically the extreme on the end of the spectrum. When I am talking about narcissists, I am not necessarily talking about somebody who has narcissistic personality disorder. In fact, that is a diagnosis and I cannot diagnose that. So I am talking about narcissistic traits, just a bunch of traits or behaviors that people have. Narcissism itself is not a clinical term, the personality disorder is, but when I'm talking about a narcissist, I am just basically talking about somebody that has a whole bunch of behaviors that are very problematic and very toxic. And the difference between maybe a run-of-the-mill person who can be abusive sometimes is about the intent and the level of abuse and the type of abuse. So in other words, somebody who might be struggling or might have some issues and maybe lashes out occasionally or can be abusive occasionally. And we're not saying that's okay, but that's not a narcissist. A narcissist is someone who, this is a continuing pattern of behavior. This is a behavior that does not change. In fact, it gets worse over time. As far as us all being narcissists, we definitely live in a world of social media, live in a world where we're all very visible. We're on, I'm here right now, sitting here in front of you talking. I don't think this is a narcissistic thing to do because I am trying to share information. I am trying to be of help. So take that as you will. Vanity, there's something called vanity. I just wanted to explain that there's a big difference between being vain and being a narcissist. A person can be vain, care about their appearance, maybe like to be seen a lot. That's not necessarily narcissism. Are a lot of narcissists vain? Absolutely. Is every person who's vain a narcissist? No. Just because someone likes to take a lot of selfies does not make them a narcissist. Just because someone takes pictures of their food, someone posts a lot, someone likes to be in the limelight, that doesn't necessarily entail someone as a narcissist. The type of narcissism I am talking about is malignant. The type of narcissist I'm talking about is destructive and harmful. These are people who cause harm. These are people who cause sometimes physical, more likely emotional harm that eats away at your very sense of being. So when we're talking about narcissists, we're talking about a very specific type of narcissism. We're talking about relational narcissism. This could be a boss, it could be a coworker, it could be a family member, a sibling, a parent, a partner, an ex-partner, even a child. This could be anyone who you have some sort of relationship with. And so when I talk about narcissistic abuse syndrome, I'm talking about a cluster of symptoms, as I mentioned in a prior video, that can often overlap with PTSD, complex PTSD. They all kind of go together. A lot of people who have a history of abuse end up in narcissistic relationships, which I can go into in a further video. Sorry if this is a bit rambling. This is not edited. I haven't learned how to edit yet. That's coming next. So right now, I'm a therapist. I'm not very technically proficient. I do want to share this information in a helpful way. I apologize if this is very rough and I'm talking and I'm saying probably you know a lot and like a lot, because this is not edited. So keep that in mind, and please be kind about that, because I really am trying to just get the content out right now and hopefully make it look a little prettier down the road when I kind of have more of a sense of what I'm doing. So in the meantime, I hope this helps explain really, you know, the spectrum of narcissism. That sure, do we all have maybe some traits in us that can we be narcissistic at certain times? Sure. But there's a big difference between, you know, being a bit self-centered once in a while, or, you know, but narcissists don't have empathy. That's the key. They do not have empathy. They are harmful. So keep that in mind, that when we're throwing that word narcissistic around, is that person capable of kindness? Is that person truly a good person underneath? And I know that's very subjective to say if someone's a good person, but is that person, do they have empathy? Can they love? That is not a narcissist. What we're talking about is people who cannot love, cannot have empathy. They are number one and will always be number one. The only true emotion they're capable of is rage, pure rage. And that comes from, basically it's toddler rage. Like, no offense to toddlers, but they grow out of that. Narcissists don't grow out of that. So arrested development, it is people who need to get their own way. If they don't get what they want, if they're not getting their supply, if they're not getting what they need or think they need, it's not in line with their agenda, they're going to be full of rage, and they're going to want to punish, they're going to want to lash out in whatever way that looks. I'll get into, in further videos, I'm getting into all the specific types of narcissists, but I just felt it was really important to cover this because the word's thrown around a lot. I saw it in my comments about the idea of me possibly being a narcissist. So I just wanted to get that out there, and I hope that helps explain it a little more about what it truly means, the type of narcissist I'm talking about. So take care of yourself, take care of each other, and I'll see you again in the next one. Bye for now.